Today we will review the Well Abandonment Certification, which, effective October 18, 2020, is one of the General Land Office's required documents for voluntary buyout or acquisition programs. A hyperlink to the GLO's Well Abandonment Certification can be found on the Texas General Land Office website at recovery.texas.gov. To locate the document, go to the local buyout and acquisition program page, which is linked below in the description section of this video. Scroll down to the left side checklist section under Applicant Information and click on Well Abandonment Certification link. Once you click on the link, your computer will download the fillable document. Please note you will need Microsoft Word to view and edit the document. Unsealed or improperly sealed wells may threaten public health and safety and the quality of the groundwater resources. Therefore, the proper abandonment, also known as decommissioning, of a well is a critical final step in its service life. The Well Abandonment Certification is required for all applicants of the Voluntary Buyout or Acquisition Program. If the homeowner does not have a well on the buyout or acquisition property, they can complete the owner and address information in number 2 and the certification and signature in number 9, and then place an NA in all other sections. If the homeowner does have a well on the property, this form will need to be completed in its entirety prior to the final demolition draw. If the well has been previously abandoned, the form will need to be completed in its entirety by the homeowner prior to applicant eligibility. If the well has not yet been abandoned, the homeowner will need to fill out the form to the best of their ability and leave the completion of the form to the demolition contractor when they abandon the well. Note to subrecipients: if the applicants to the program indicate in this form that there are wells that will need to be abandoned at demolition, subrecipients should ensure that well abandonment knowledge and experience is required in the procurement solicitation for the demolition contractor. Contractors or their subcontractors should be familiar with correct abandonment materials and procedures to ensure the protection of the water supply. For this video, I'll use an example of a fictional applicant and contractor to explain how to fill out the form if the applicant has a well on the property that will be abandoned at demolition. Therefore, the video will be divided into 2 parts. Part 1, the applicant's responsibilities, and Part 2, the demolition contractor's responsibilities. If the applicant is completing the form in its entirety because the well was abandoned prior to closing, then the applicant is responsible for understanding and completing the information in both sections of the video. To begin, the applicant can skip to number 1 of the Well Abandonment Certification to input the well location. Applicants should fill the location out to the best of their ability to include the municipality, county, and quadrangle where the well resides. For quadrangle, the applicant should place the subdivision location identifier for the well, such as road, community, subdivision, lot number, etc. Applicants should also complete the latitude and longitude of the well in decimal degrees. If the applicant has a sketch of the location that clearly demonstrates the location of the well, this can be provided by the applicant and attached to the form. If the applicant does not have a sketch of the well location, the demolition contractor must provide one. Next, the applicant should complete number 2 on the form to input the homeowner's name and address of the buyout or acquisition property. Then the applicant can complete number 3 of the form, checking off the topography where the well is located. A hilltop is defined as an area of high ground where the ground slopes down in all directions. A slope is defined as terrain with a rise or fall that slants up or down. A stream terrace is defined as a step-like landform cut out of the land by successive changes in the regimen of a stream. A valley is defined as a large gully, often very flat, wide, and open, often with a large watercourse running through it. A stream channel is defined as the channel through which a natural stream of water runs or used to run. More specifically, it is the physical confine of a stream consisting of a bed and stream banks. A draw is defined as a terrain feature formed by two parallel ridges or spurs with low ground in between them. Like valleys, they have higher ground in three directions and lower ground in one direction. However, the slope on a draw is generally quite sharp. A local depression is defined as an area of low ground that is sunken or depressed and is surrounded by higher ground in all directions. A flat is defined as a relatively level surface of land with a region of greater relief, such as hills or mountains. In our example, the applicant's well is located on land with a slope, so the applicant checked off slope. Next, the applicant will input the use of the well in number 4. The use of the well is the type of well based off what it is used for. For example, the applicant can input a water well, monitoring well, injection well, oil well, natural gas well, etc. In number 5, the applicant should input the depth and diameter of the well. In the form, numbers 6, 7, and 8 are asking for information about the well after abandonment. If the well has not yet been abandoned when the applicant is completing the form for the left side checklist, then the applicant can skip these numbers and the demolition contractor will complete the section at abandonment. If the well has already been abandoned prior to closing, then the applicant is responsible for completing the entire form for the left side checklist. Information on how to complete numbers 6 through 8 will be provided later in the video in the Demolition Contractors section. Next, number 9 will be completed by the applicant. The applicant will certify that the information is true and exact, and the owner and co-owner will sign and date the certification. If the well has been previously abandoned, the applicant will also input the day and month that the well was abandoned in number 9. However, in our example, the well has not yet been abandoned, so the applicant left the section blank. The form completed to the best of the applicant's abilities should be placed in the left side checklist. If the well has not been abandoned by the applicant, upon demolition, the demolition contractor will complete the well abandonment certification to place the updated form in the file. First, the demolition contractor will complete the contractor agent information at the top of the page, listing the name of the company that properly abandoned the well. Then, the contractor will input the license or registration number of the contractor. The contractor will input the date that the form is being completed, and then they will input the subrecipient program name. Next, the demolition contractor will ensure that all of the information and sketches in numbers 1 through 5 have been filled out correctly by the applicant. If there is any incorrect information, the contractor should correct the information. See the first section of this video for information on how to complete numbers 1 through 5. After properly sealing and abandoning the well, the demolition contractor will complete number 6, listing the amount and diameter of the casing left after abandonment. Well casing is the tube-shaped structure that was placed in the well to maintain the well opening from the target groundwater to the surface. The casing keeps dirt and excess water out of the well and prevents contaminants from entering the well and mixing with the drinking water. The state of Texas requires that all removable casing is removed from the well. Contractors must attempt to pull the casing. Depending on the circumstances, if the casing cannot be removed, the contractor is required to cut the casing off as far below ground level as possible and plug the well from the bottom to the top. To answer this question, the contractor should list the feet of casing left in the well. A best practice is to write the to and from depths of the remaining casing. The more details, the better. For example, the casing amount is 75 feet from 25 feet depth to 100 feet depth. And then they should input the diameter of the casing that is remaining. Next, the demolition contractor will complete number 7 to input the amount and composition of sealant material. Sealants are used in well abandonment to provide a watertight barrier to the migration of water in the wellbore and the annular spaces or in fractures and openings adjacent to the wellbore. Sealants usually consist of cement-based grouts, bentonite, clay, or a combination of these substances. Neat cement grout, as can be found in the first column in number 7, is a typical sealant of wells. Neat cement grout is generally formulated using a ratio of 1 94-pound bag of Portland cement to no more than 6 gallons of water. This grout is superior for sealing small openings, for penetrating any annular space outside of the casings, and for filling voids in the surrounding rocks. When applied under pressure, neat cement grout is strongly favored for sealing artisan wells or those penetrating more than one aquifer. The exact mixture of materials for the neat cement should be placed in the neat cement column. Another popular sealant is concrete sand cement grout. Concrete sand cement grout consists of a ratio of not more than 6 gallons of water, 1 94-pound bag of Portland cement, and an equal volume of sand. This grout is generally used for filling the upper part of the well above the water-bearing zone, for plugging short sections of casings, or for filling large diameter wells. The exact mixture of materials for the concrete grout should be placed in the sand cement column. Other popular sealants, such as high solids sodium bentonite, chip bentonite, and more that are used to seal the well, should be placed in the other material row, and the amount used should also be included. If no additional materials have been used, Na should be placed on this row. Next, in number 8, the demolition contractor should include information on the method of emplacement of material to seal and abandon the well. Common methods of encapsulation are Tremie pipe cement from bottom to top, Tremie pipe bentonite from bottom to 2 feet from surface with cement the top 2 feet, pour in 3/8 bentonite chips when standing water in the well is less than 100 feet deep, cement the top 2 feet. Wells 36 inches or greater may be filled with clay material from top to bottom. Contractors should include as much details as necessary to understand how the well was plugged. In our example, the contractor put, using a Tremie tube, completely pressure-filled the well with neat cement grout from the bottom of the well to the ground surface. Then, the demolition contractor should include a sketched diagram showing the depths of the well, casing, grouting materials, perforations, etc., to properly identify all components of the well and its abandonment. Finally, if the well is being abandoned by the demolition contractor in number 9, they will place the day, month, and year that the well was abandoned. Once completed by the demolition contractor, The subrecipient should place the updated form in the left side checklist file. We hope you enjoyed this training on the well abandonment certification. If there are any additional questions during the completion of the form, subrecipients should reach out to their General Land Office grant manager. Additional videos covering the other required local buyout and acquisition forms are, or soon will be, available at the same location you are viewing this one.